Episode 32 Red Giant Planet. The Emerald Planet is indeed beautiful, said LaoDi Guang, gazing at the lush green world outside the spaceship. But this planet is too young, and its civilization has not yet developed. I'm sorry for the inconvenience, Captain LaoDi Guang, replied the Huantia, his voice echoing through the spaceship's communication system. Shall we continue the search? Yes. Please find us an older planet suitable for biological survival, Guangwu replied. After passing through several stars and planets, the Huanqiang told, we have reached our destination, Captain LaoDi Guang. The screen showed a planet shrouded in crimson mist. The star it orbited was very large and dark red, and it seemed that its surface was emitting hot air waves around it. Why is the space here crimson? LaoDi Guang asked. The star that this planet orbited has exploded and turned into a red giant, explained the Huanta. It will devour the planet within the next 100 years. You found this planet because... And Enian Sung's lost, her eyes wide with worry. Because now is a critical moment, MUI Guangwu answered for the Huantian. Let's explore while there is still a chance. LaoDi Guang took over the control and directed the Ship Shell spacecraft through the dense red atmosphere and flew to the surface of the planet. As they descended, they noticed countless abandoned satellites and space stations orbiting the planet. These buildings are very old, and Enian Songzu whispered. This planet once had a highly intelligent civilization. Yes, the Huanqian confirmed, but that's all in the past. And this planet looks abandoned. LaoDi Guang drove the spacecraft to one of the space stations. Against the crimson sky, it looked like a huge abandoned spider web. It looks like a space elevator. LaoDi Guang pointed to a huge cable observation path that stretched from the space station to the planet's equator, the remains of an advanced civilization. They approached the space station for observation, but found no signs of biological or robotic activity inside. The lobby, which could be imagined to have been bustling, was now empty. LaoDi Guang guided the spacecraft down, skimming the ground at a safe height. The planet was covered with the ruins of huge cities. It could be imagined that the skyscrapers at that time were towering into the sky. But now, the infrastructure was in disarray. Airports, railways, roads crowded with dilapidated cars, all of which had no signs of life. The Huanqian, LaoDi Guang instructed, please look for any signs of civilized biological activity underground. After a long silence, the Huanqian reported, this planet was once inhabited by an advanced civilization. However, all creatures, whether terrestrial or aquatic, have become extinct. Only the remains of their civilization are left. Did they move to other planets? Guangwu asked. Or were they destroyed? Both, replied the Great Emperor. Most appear to have been destroyed, and there is evidence that a significant number may have escaped to other planets. However, there is no solid evidence of such migration, nor where they migrated to. And Enian Songzu approached the main display, her reflection reflected in the desolate landscape. What is the meaning of this civilization? She whispered. LaoDi Guang turned to MUI Guangwu. They must have migrated to other planets. Perhaps one day we will see them again. MUI Guangwu nodded. Let's explore further before we leave. This may be our last chance to learn about their history and technology. The Ship Shell moved toward the largest city, landing in what seemed to have been a spaceport, but now a graveyard of rusted spacecraft. The three put on their protective suits and stepped out of the Ship Shell onto the red sand. The air was thin but breathable, filled with an eerie silence that was broken only by the unstable rumble of the Earth's crust in the distance, reminding them of the impending deadline. They explored the city on foot, finding some buildings still powered by ancient technology that hummed gently despite the passage of time. Inside one building, they found a vast library filled with countless data crystals, and Enian Songzu carefully removed several crystals and placed them in her shoulder bag for later study. We may still be able to uncover their story, she said hopefully. As they moved deeper into the city, they encountered strange ruins, filled with strange artifacts and intricate murals depicting a thriving civilization and its ultimate demise. One mural depicted creatures fleeing in spaceships as their planet began to shatter and crumble. Mikino Mitsuru stood in front of this mural, his reflection overlapping the fleeing figures. They knew what was going to happen, he whispered, but they did nothing until it was too late. Who are we to judge? Bidao Jiguang said. Our own civilization has faced countless threats, and still does. And any unsung Zunare. We should learn from their mistakes. They continue their exploration, discovering the remains of a civilization's extraordinary achievements in engineering, architecture, and art. But there were no signs of life, not even death, only emptiness and silence. As they approached a large underground structure, the Huanqiang warned Captain, the instability of this planet is accelerating. We must leave as soon as possible. But it, Bidao Jiguang replied, turning to his companions. Let's make this our last stop before we leave. The building turned out to be a huge laboratory filled with advanced equipment and experimental devices. In the center stood a huge container, which contained a strange artifact, a gleaming sphere that radiated some unknown energy. 緑地から海沿いの美駅まで続く公園があります。物語はここで起こります。This is incredible. And any unsung guess. Approaching the container. This is something we have never seen before. Hemiwa Iguang followed her, eyeing the artifact warily. What do you think it does? I don't know. And any unsung admitted. But I believe it could be the reason they left, or the reason they couldn't save their world. Hemiwa Iguang approached, his eyes, his reflection twisting around the shimmering edge of the orb. We can't leave it behind, he said. It could be the key to understanding what happened here, and preventing it from happening elsewhere. And any unsung added, I'll prepare a containment unit to take back to the ship. As they worked together, the surrounding building shook violently. Dust fell from the ceiling. Equipment collapsed. We're running out of time, Bidao Jiguang shouted above the din. Almost done, Sangzu replied, packing the orb into a reinforced suitcase. Let's go. They rushed to the ship, crossing the crumbling city as the ground shook. When they reached the spaceport, a huge crack opened beneath their feet, swallowing up the entire building. Bidao Jiguang jumped over the crack and turned to help his companion. Mui Guang arrived safely, but Sangzu slipped and nearly fell into the abyss below. Bidao Jiguang rushed forward, grasping her outstretched hand before she disappeared into the darkness, pulling her back to solid ground. We won't leave you, Bidao Jiguang gasped to reassure Ananian Sangzu. Mui Guang patted Bidao Jiguang's shoulder gratefully and said, let's leave this planet. They hurried aboard the seashell as the spaceport collapsed around them. Bidao Jiguang took control and launched into the air in a storm of dust and debris. As he lifted off, he glanced back at the dying world below. Goodbye, she whispered. Safely off the doomed planet, Mui Guang returned to Anani Ansangzu. Where are those data crystals you collected? Anani Ansangzu smiled softly and activated her console. A holographic image appeared, a beautiful alien face with a warm smile. I managed to save some of their history and maybe even open a path forward for our own civilization. Mui Guang added, let us follow their example. Never forget those who came before us. As the seashell passed through the thick red atmosphere and returned to space, Makino Mitsuru gazed down at the gleaming sphere in the container. Although there were still unsolved mysteries hidden within, they now had knowledge and hope that would be crucial to the future.